I think the reason we were able to overcome the impossible in this realm is in part because we were doing things for the right reasons. We never set out for the coveted West Wing job or the ride on the Air Force One. We volunteered for Barack Obama because we had friends overseas in Iraq and buddies who couldn't afford tuition. We were all normal people. What business did we have changing the world? It still brings a smile to my face. My story of going from Hollywood into public service is not unique. My story really is the same as thousands of other young Americans who volunteered for then Senator Obama's campaign, took a leave of absence from school or a private sector job, and served for a few years in the federal government as a presidential appointee. The only reason that my appointment garnered more press attention than some of the others is because I am an actor, something else I'm deeply proud of. Something else that was supposed to have been impossible. It's hard to explain what it feels like when former Obama White House aides see each other now. Our hearts instantly feel 10 times bigger, and our face holes involuntarily smile when we bump into each other on the street or at an airport or on the subway. We knew that things were not mutually exclusive in our America. We didn't take "no, you can't do that" for an answer. We don't believe in impossible. Which brings us back to Air Force One. The unspoken rite of passage says that when you first fly on Air Force One, you're allowed a personal phone call or two. This is really more selfish and emotional than anything else. You pick up the phone at your seat and the operator says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Modi." Here's a little footnote here. I'll read that to you. Kal Penn is just a stage screen name, sort of like Whoopi Goldberg, or at least I assume that's not her birth name, but I could be wrong. At the White House, you go by your legal name for security clearances, IDs, etc. I went by Kal Penn Modi, which is my legal name. Okay, so good afternoon, Mr. Modi. How can I help you? You tell the operator that you want to make a phone call, give her the number to dial, and wait for her to call you back as soon as the connection is made. The whole thing is pretty patriotic and extremely badass because when the person at the other end picks up, the operator says to them, "Hello, so-and-so. You have a call from Mr. Kal Penn Modi aboard Air Force One. Please hold." The phone at your seat then rings, and you say hello to whichever stunned human you've decided to call. So as I said for my first call, I knew I was going to phone my parents. 34 years before, my dad had left his parents, who had marched with Gandhi behind in India. Like many other beautiful immigrant cliches, he moved to America with $12 in his pocket and the dream of a better life for his kids. And here I was, flying aboard Air Force One, as an aide to the first black president of the United States. What the heck were the chances that any of this could happen? America is the kind of place where the impossible becomes possible. We can take our deepest insecurities, our community's worst fears, our neighbors' greatest hesitations, and with a lot of work, a lot of hardship, a lot of turmoil, turn them into something incredible for each other. Let's support each other. Let's keep doing these beautiful, impossible things. So that's his reading, and thank you for letting me read this. I'm going to tack on something here because I feel like it, and your teacher may cut this, and that's totally fine. But I wanted to just say something about why I picked this story. A lot of differences between his life and mine, but there were things that kind of stood out to me. Immigrant parent, my dad is from Iran, and I have heard a lot of stories about what it was like for him to come here. It's on my mind a little more at this time of year. I'm recording this 2 days before Christmas, and when I was a kid, at Christmas Eve, I always remember we got a phone call explaining to us that our house was about to get burned down because we were Iranian. I will leave out the adjectives they used to describe us because of our Iranianness. But in any case, they it's something you don't forget. Christmas Eve was a big deal in our house, and of all days, those you remember when it happens. And I get his stuff about I was definitely the bullied kid. Bullies loved me. I was an easy target. But what I like about this story that really kind of stood out to me is not so much finding those little similarities here and there, but this thing about the impossible. I quit my career and started over and started working in a not-for-profit. And I think everybody thought I was nuts. Possibly I was, but what ended up happening is just doing what you like and doing it for the right reasons, which is what he talks about. I think kind of led to things. And now I'm a professor, and I'm really happy doing that. I'm also an actor on the side. I like to do that as a hobby. So I believe in, sort of trying to do the impossible, if it's what you believe in and what you like. But I also really believe in what he talks about how it's kind of, if you're able to do the things you want to do, it's partly you, but we need each other. And he talks about his dad, how that set the stage, but also people working together. I mean, the people that I have, really depended on at times. So I like his overall message. Okay, I'm just going to read to you again because I just like it. Okay, I'm just going to read this very ending. We can take our deepest insecurities, our communities' worst fears, our neighbors' greatest hesitations, and with a lot of work, a lot of hardship, a lot of turmoil, turn them into something incredible for each other. Let's support each other. Let's keep doing these beautiful, impossible things. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. Thank you so much for letting me do this. And take care. I hope you all have a good rest of the school year and everything after that. And let's all be there for each other. Thanks.